Hello and welcome to Baywell's in-depth tutorial on LogMeIn. Let's get started. We are going to assume that Baywell just sent us an invite for LogMeIn, so that we can remote into our computer at work. The email just arrived in our inbox. First thing we are going to do is to verify the legitimacy of this email. Check to see that it came from noreply@logmein.com and that support@baywell.net invited you. Then click on the link to accept the invite. On this screen, verify that you've been invited to manage computers of Baywell. Create a strong password for logmein.com. This password should be unique to the website. For security reasons, Baywell has enabled dual-factor authentication. We are going to use text messaging for our first method of authentication and email for our second method of authentication. Type in the number 1 for United States, then the area code and number. Enter the authentication code sent to your mobile phone. For the second method of authentication, we're going to use our Gmail address instead of our corporate address. This minimizes our risk of having a single point of failure in the email systems. Enter the authentication code sent to your secondary email. Click to activate. Great, now we're at the main LogMeIn portal page. Our work computer should now be displayed in blue to indicate that it is available for a remote session. If it shows OP being grayed out, that means the computer at the office is turned off or inaccessible. If it shows OP as green, then that means someone else is remoting in. And if you believe no one else should be using your computer, notify Baywell right away. Click on the computer name. Log in with your work credentials. Under the pull-down menu, note that there's a domain name, BW, and also this computer, BWT450. For this example, we will choose BW, which is Baywell's domain name. Of course, your company's domain name will be different. The This Computer option is a local computer account, which is not what we want. Right after signing in, please wait a few seconds. A yellow window will show up for the LogMeIn client software to begin downloading. Once downloaded, click to run the client. A firewall warning may pop up. Select Allow LogMeIn to traverse the firewall. Once we've connected to our work computer, we can see that it's on its login screen. LogMeIn has conveniently saved our work credentials that we had previously entered. We now have the option to click on the login button to initiate login without typing in our network password. But I want to show you another method just in case you'll need it when your computer has been locked at work. See this triangular-shaped button at the top of your screen. This sends the Ctrl-Alt-Delete keystroke to the computer at work, which initiates the login process. There's our password prompt. Let's type in our password for the network, just as if we are sitting in front of our computer at work. Great! We are now logged in, and can begin our work. Let's now take a look at some of the features of LogMeIn. At the top of your screen is the LogMeIn menu. One of the first items is the Connect Drives feature. This connects your home computer's hard drive to be accessible by the office computer. This is a great feature if you worked on some documents at home and want to upload it to the office computer, or vice versa. Please note that this feature may be turned off by default by your company for security reasons. We've enabled it for demonstration purposes. So, let's launch our File Explorer. Click on this PC. You'll now see 3 separate icons for your computer at home. We'll select the My Desktop on Home PC icon to see the files on my home computer. And let's create a folder called This is on my home PC. Now, let's minimize our remote session and switch to our home PC's desktop. There it is, the folder we just created. See how easy that was? We can now copy, or move or delete files back and forth between both computers. Alright, let's continue looking at the other useful features. Blank screen is pretty straightforward. When you select that, it blanks the screen at work so that no one physically at the office can eavesdrop on what you are doing remotely. Baywell recommends that you blank your screen when remoting in. Remote printing is quite useful. Essentially, it makes your home computer's printer available to your office computer. So if you are remotely working on a document and want a hard copy, you can now select to print it at home. Let's launch Word and see this in action. Click File and then Print. Select the name of your home printer ending in via LogMeIn. Then print. The document will now print on your home printer. Now let's look at the rest of the features. Sync Clipboard allows you to copy and paste between both computers. It is enabled by default. Lock keyboard and mouse is pretty straightforward. It locks the keyboard and mouse at the office, so no one can use it while you are on a remote session. For the network connection, just leave it on auto. Same for the keyboard. The laser pointer changes your cursor into a red dot, so you can use it for presentations. Use the magnify option to take a virtual magnifying glass to an area on the remote computer. This is enabled only if you've scaled down the window of the remote session. Sound enables you to listen to the sound generated on your office computer at your home computer speakers. Ctrl-Alt-Delete sends the same keystrokes to the office computer as we've discussed. Color quality is helpful if you are on a slow internet connection and are willing to sacrifice the color quality of the display for a quicker response on your mouse and keyboard. Definitely switch to this option when you have slow internet. The View option allows you to temporarily zoom in and out so that you can see the remote computer screen better. The resolution icon shows you your office computer's screen resolution. You can change it to match your home computer's resolution so that you won't have to squint your eyes. Baywell recommends that you play around with these settings until you are happy with the viewing quality on your home computer. Pro tip: maximize your LogMeIn screen first, then play with the resolution. But note that whatever resolution you set it to, it'll remain at that same resolution when you get to the office. So, remember to change it back to what it was before, otherwise, you'll have to change it again when you get into the office. Finally, we get to the monitors icon. If you only have one monitor at the office, then skip this. But say you have two monitors at the office like we have in this tutorial, then this gets interesting. The first two menu selections allow you to jump back and forth between the two monitors. The third selection shows you all monitors side by side. If you have a super wide view monitor at home, this may work. But say you also have two monitors at home, then the multi-monitor function will allow you to see both of the monitors from the office separated into your two monitors at home. See how your two monitors at the office are separated into its own window. You can drag each window into each of your monitors at home and then maximize it to fill the space of each monitor. It's a very useful function. Let's switch back to our first monitor at the office. Last but not least, the full screen button takes whatever active remote window you have selected and expands the content to fill your screen. Now let's assume you've worked remotely for 8 hours straight and it's time to disconnect. Please only do the following. Go to the Windows icon. Click on your usernames icon. Then sign out. That's it. Do not click on the power button to put the computer to sleep or shut down. The only exception here is that it may be okay to restart the computer. But if you put your computer to sleep or shut it down, someone physically may have to walk up to your computer at the office to wake it up or turn it back on. So, it is usually best to just sign out as I'm about to show you now. Okay, we're back at the login screen of the office computer. Let's end our remote session. And here we'll allow the option to keep the LogMeIn client app on this computer. We'll see why in a second. At the moment, let's get out of the LogMeIn web page by disconnecting and logging out of the website. Now, let's find the LogMeIn client app that was left on our computer. Click on Windows icon. It'll be available in our recently added section, or listed alphabetically under L. Let's sign in again. Enter the authentication code sent to your mobile phone. And now you'll see that your office computer is listed on the app right after signing in. But in this case, see how the icon is showing up as green. Green means that the remote computer at work is currently in a remote session, or in this particular case, there's a lag with LogMeIn service, and it hasn't updated its records to show that we've already logged out. Usually this resolves within 5 minutes. But if you know that no one should be remoting into your computer, and yet it shows green on the computer icon, notify Baywell right away so we can investigate. Now, on the LogMeIn Client app, you'll see all the familiar tools. There's Remote Control, File Manager, Command Prompt, Main Menu. For the most part, you'll only use the remote control function and on occasion, the file manager, which we'll cover last. Command prompt is usually disabled by your administrator. So, let's see how this client app makes our life simpler. After we've launched the app, click on the remote control icon and you'll see that we've jumped directly into your computer. This cuts out several steps off of the web page interface method, not to mention all those passwords we had to enter. Once you get to this point, it should be familiar to you on how to proceed. Okay, let's close out and end the session. But before we do, this host locking option is a good security option to enable. Enabling this will lock your office computer, if and when you forget to sign out. Baywell recommends that you enable this function. The very last function to show you here is the file transfer. Please note that this function is available to you only if your company authorizes it, just like the previously discussed Drive Connect option. If this feature is enabled, you'll find it useful if you anticipate being at a location with poor or no internet connection, and yet you still want to work on your files from the office. I'll demonstrate by transferring a file. We'll make a note of where we are in both computers' directory structure, so we'll know where to search for the files afterwards. We can select the folder we want and right mouse click to copy or move. Or we can also click on the copy or move icon above to perform the same task. And there it is. Now that we have our office files on our home computer, we can work on them without having any internet. We'll now log out of the File Manager and log out of the LogMeIn Client app. You can choose to leave it running in the background for easy access to your office computer. The LogMeIn client will reside here until you are ready to get back into your office computer. That pretty much wraps it up for us in this in-depth tutorial. Thanks for hanging in with us throughout the entire video. If you have any questions, feel free to contact Baywell. We'll be happy to help. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. and hit the bell to be notified of our next video. Until next time.